See, and our frailties, and we have them. Our shortcomings, and we have them. They go down in the grave with the flesh. But the good things that we have done in the name of He who lives forever, that is what lives. And that is what will cause all good men to be remembered.
Coming and being patient with us. We just left the cell unit. We had the chapel was packed, 94 brothers in there. Actually, the unit was on lockdown, but because we came, they let them come. Thank Allah for that. And the message was well received. They were very excited to see us, very happy to see us. And we were happy to see them. So I thank you for your patience. This meeting wasn't meant to be long. Very short, right to the point. And so I'm going to get to it right away. Two things we wanted to do. What we did was we made history, because we're the first group to come into the prison after the pandemic emergency was declared. Sisters, can y'all come sit here? This is coming up for that chair. And we made history because our student national prison reform minister, Abdullah Muhammad, made, in a sense, his debut in Texas, which has the largest prison population, and second to it is California. It also has the largest prisoner release, somewhere 67,000 prisoners that they release, and makes it number one in the nation. And it's number two in the nation of those who go back to prison under new charges. The purpose of this meeting is just to really to strengthen the prison reform ministry and to ask for your support and help of the National Prison Reform Ministry, which in turn will help our regional and local prison reform ministry. And also to introduce to some, but present to others, our student national prison reform minister, representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It was meant to be an intimate meeting. I put out a call to the community, let whoever come. But the bottom line is this, is that we're being herded like sheep as people are talking about crime. And what it's trying to do is trying to force us, Smokey is trying to force us to vote based upon who's got the best plan for crime, when the truth of the matter is, I'm talking about the city election, when the truth of the matter is that the $2 billion budget the city has, the majority of it is public safety. So we saw in the Houston Chronicle recently that it said that 70% of the people that were hurt by HPD were black. So it's not that they're not knocking heads. It's not, the Harris County Jail is almost packed to capacity. In fact, they're shipping people out. So it's not like they're not locking them up. And we're number one in incarceration in the country. So it's not like we're not putting them in the penitentiary. So what is all this talk about crime? Law enforcement can't do it alone. They've been made the fall guy for everything in society that they have that's inequitable. School system's inequitable, so they don't know how to teach our children, so they put in what they call resource officers. They put police in the school. They don't want to put money in mental health. So now they make the police have a mental health squad. They don't want to provide housing at all price points would be affordable housing. So now they have a homeless squad for the police. See, everything they're putting on the police. Instead of funding the school system, instead of funding mental health, instead of doing the things that are necessary, taking care of the veterans and doing all that, they put it all on law enforcement. Everything is a crime now. And either you're going to go to state jail, no, you go to county jail for these misdemeanors and levels, and then you go to state jail for other type crime, then you go into the prison system for other type crime. So what is our job? If we're going to sit around here and wait for City Hall to solve the crime problem, or we're going to sit around here and wait for the Austin to solve the problem, or Harris County Commissioner Court to solve the problem, or the feds to do that? No, them the people that put our brothers and sisters in, brothers in particular, in the joint with the crack cocaine. 3 strikes you in. We told on that today. Lord have mercy. We don't believe in conspiracies. We don't believe that George Bush working in Oliver North working in the basement of the White House. Y'all with me? Yes, sir. In the basement of the White House, because the Congress would not fund the war against the Sandinista government in Nicaragua, and they wanted to fight, they wanted to support the Contras, so they went around it. They brought crack cocaine in, took the drugs out, took the money, traded them on with Iran, so you had Iran, so all of that was a triangle, and so now you have 3 ways to go how we do this stuff. Let's take $1 million there, man. You guys put money in, you know what to do with it. Crack cocaine, 3 strikes you in. So-called crime, the very president is president right now, he wants to sign the crime. They're supposed to crime, though. They're doing the sign. So all of our men talk about we got a problem in this home. We supposed to be celebrating problems in the law. A lot of our fathers were locked up in the seas. So are we to sit around here and put it all on law enforcement? I don't even know. Peace officers. They're really peace officers. They're sworn peace officers. But they're made to be law enforcement. Segregation is legal. Slavery is legal. You get what I'm saying? So we can't put it all on them. So we put these peace officers. So we make sure that when the honorable minister who was far from any of our black people that come in this city is smoking the motorcycle of Harris County Precinct Center that escort them to get to the things that you get on our the motorcycle. It's not working. Oh, okay. Okay, let me do like this. And the motorcycles met him at the Harris County line. And the minister looked out the bus. He said, "Ooh, look, Khadijah, look." And he was just so happy in the way, and they just escorted him all the way in, and they've done that before, to and from the airport, whatever the ministers need. Pick him up. When he had tarmac pickup, they meet him on the tarmac, they lead him out, whatever he needs, so he gets in and out of here safely. And this is the place the messenger told him not to come. But we thank Allah for them. That's what I mean by a peace officer. Regardless of whether this is their religion or not, they believe in upholding, swearing to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, which is freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Whether they agree or not, that's what they do their job. And so for that, we're grateful. That's a peace officer. But now, brothers and sisters, we're not going to solve or even put a dent in the crime problem unless we rebuild family and community life. Family and community life. So this meeting really is about community. We want to talk about, we're not talking about it because I am not going to jawbone all night. I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen and we're going to go forward. I just want to introduce to some and present to others Minister Abdullah. He don't have to get no big speech because we eat 1 meal a day and we get ready to get up out of here. No, that's for real. We put in some work today. But it would be disrespectful for me not to let him say whatever Allah puts on his heart based upon what he's hearing me say. I help my brother in the awesome task that the ministers put on him, which is to be the prison reform, national prison reform minister. So he come to Texas first because Texas is #1. Not that he hadn't been other places, but Texas is #1. This is now to establish a footprint. And the talent and skill that we have in this mosque and in this city, and the connections that we have, is now for us to organize those things that are needed inside a ministry of justice, prison reform ministry inside the mosque, and those who are not in the mosque, whatever work you do in prevention, it may be education, it may be and making sure they got proper representation. You understand what I'm saying? Is stopping the youth from getting caught up in the system. Preventive work. Who does preventive work would be the question. Then when they are incarcerated or they're put on probation, how do we make sure that they live up to their probation so that they don't get put in jail? All right. But suppose then they get sentenced to jail or prison. Then we have to go in and we have to do rehabilitation and reform of them. We got to help with literacy. We got to help them with their drug and alcohol problem. We have to help them with anger management. We have to help them with life skills, right? To reform and rehabilitate them so that when they come out, they don't go back. So now they come out. So now we got the thing of reentry. So what do we do when they come out? He said he's going to be with us in a couple months. He said he's been in there 30 years. Didn't he say that? 35 years, brother Cap, 35. So he come in 35 years. He don't even know where his license is. He don't even know probably how to get his birth certificate, social security card, nothing. And now somebody going to hand him a cell phone. He going to say, what the hell is this? They don't know what they're facing when they come out here. So we have an obligation to help them when they come out. Whatever tools, whatever organization, whatever you have, you're obligated to help us. And what I'm laying out right here, to help him in the awesome task he has, because as he said to our brothers in the Estelle unit, he said when Minister Farrakhan started, he had you in his heart. They didn't have nothing in the beginning. Minister Farrakhan, he was talking about the raggedy buildings and the cold and all that, and you could see the stars through the hole in the roof, and it was so cold they had no. Minister Farrakhan didn't start with 10,000 followers and a bunch of money. He had nothing but his family and 2 other people working with him. The Final Call newspaper, this brother helped put it together down in the basement of the Minister Farrakhan family. He ain't had no security. It was police, the national policemen and the nationalists that guarded Minister Farrakhan. We had no FOI, we have nothing. So we owe a debt of gratitude to everybody. So everybody in here, whatever you do, you will work with us even after he's gone. So we will build a prison reform ministry in prevention, rehabilitation, reentry. Clear? So that's really why we called you here. So this isn't about this is about, did we have you sign something? Do we have names, addresses, and phone numbers? Do we have any of that? Says Tara, no, I'm looking right at her. Okay, so I just need to make sure I want to get your name, phone number, email address, and your affiliation, whatever it is that you do. And even if you don't have something in those lines, okay, go ahead, take that call, brother. Take that, whatever that call is, take it. Because I get them kind of calls, and I walk right straight up out of me. Be white folk, what happened? I see that 773 number pop up my phone. I'm like, So really, really and true, once he comes back, that's really all I had to say. You're all authorized now to help. Any questions? Ramon? Go to that microphone, brother. Go to that microphone. I'm not the only one with a microphone. You'll get some mic time.
The authority for our homes to outside sources. April the 20th, 2005, I think that was a Sunday, the Kappa Day. I got jumped by maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 youngsters because I stopped. I saw them fighting. I was on one of them South streets, South Downs, South Towns or something coming through. And I stopped and they said, "School, don't get out that car." And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get out the car." And I called them over and I brought a book, had a book, and I'm showing them how to do the lynching in that. And I said, "But you're doing it to yourself." So the leader pack sent somebody around to distract me. Next thing I woke up, I'm in an ambulance. And I fell back out and I woke up, I was at Ventura. But I cased the neighborhood. Lord fixed it where I didn't encounter the person till I had come down, because I cased the neighborhood, casing it because I wanted to retaliate. Then I pinpointed where they live and did my intel, and I know the grandmothers and all that stuff. And so one day I said, "Well, I'm gonna call law enforcement." Brother-in-law said, "No, let's go talk to him." So we went and talked to him. And it seemed like the whole community came out as I was sitting there talking to the young man. He was in a wheelchair and someone had shot him. And I says, "Well, now you want people to be afraid or scared of you," but I said, "I live in this here community and I'm not just scared of you and I'm not afraid of you." But when I got ready to leave, he asked me, he says, "Mister, what's your name?" And I told him, he said, "Can I please shake your hand? Because I don't care if somebody say, 'Well, you can't go talk to these youngsters today.' Well, I'm gonna try. And then until we come back and take authorities over our own selves and our own homes, then what do we expect?"
Well, again, part of prevention is rebuilding family and community life. This is part of what we have to do. So everything is on the table. So whatever anybody does, it might be employment, it might be entrepreneurship, it might be teaching people trades and skills. It could be teaching them how to get their credit together. It could be anything. Open a bank account. I don't know. I'm saying whatever it is that you have to bring to this endeavor. My passion is such, I'm showing it now for prison reform because this is the focus today. But tomorrow is going to be something else, because we're living in a country, in a world that's unraveling as we speak. And if we don't prepare ourselves by building an infrastructure to serve our own needs and our own wants, then when this thing collapses, it's going to be utter chaos, and we won't have it. We'll be looking to somebody to take care of us when we should be taking care of ourselves. Does what I'm saying make sense? So we've got to tell Sister Tara, come on, we already got the sign-in sheet. So that's it. This is really what we called you here for. We're glad that you came. We're not going to keep you, but we want you to sign this sheet. And then I'm going to work with Brother Abdullah, Brother Student Minister, to help him in what he's doing. Go in the Final Call newspaper. In the Final Call newspaper, Minister Farrakhan has given him a page. And in that page is how you can help the ministry. He's got enough money to get a building to do what he wants, which is I call it a whole-way house, call it a halfway house in Chicago. So we're going to use our talent and skill wherever we know it so that he can help him find that building, get it all done. Whatever he needs to do, we got the talent and skill to help him with that. And as we set the template here and elsewhere, we will help set it all over the country. That's my pledge to my brother and my friend. Me and him is like, we got history. And I want to see him successful. He loved to preach. That's what he do. The other aspects of what I'm talking about, counseling and all that other kind of stuff, that's not what he does. But others do it. There are people actually in the Nation of Islam that are chaplains in some of these states that know and can help write a manual for the whole thing so we can have that thing laid out. Now, those who might want to go in and preach in there, Mr. Farrakhan has him under instructions. And this is just for him to introduce himself, and then we go. Is for him, for us to tape ourselves, send it to him, and Mr. Farrakhan wants to look at it to see what we would say if we were in the prison. because Minister Farrakhan is the gold standard, if that makes sense. So, brothers and sisters, I thank you for your patience, for your time. I know many people have been doing many things during this Juneteenth weekend in preparation for Father's Day, and I never look for a whole bunch of people. I look for those who are committed to get this done. All right? So what you said about Mark in terms, he got 50 acres of land. Maybe I shouldn't put that on blast, but you said it. He got 50 acres of land just a few miles from here. Then he's saying, what can I do with it? Well, we're going to do something. Because we're going to need to feed ourselves. We're going to need a place to go that's safe and secure. Away from here sometimes. Sometimes we just need to go someplace and pitch a tent to get away from the noise of this urban area and all the clutter of what's going on, just to be out there with Allah's creation so we can clear our head. That makes sense? So I thank you, brothers and sisters. Again, as I said, this wasn't going to be long. Whole bunch of speechifying. Put you down on this paper. We're going to organize it according to prevention, rehabilitation, reentry, and supporters. Maybe you said, well, I don't know, I'll write a check or I'll put $10 a month in the ministry. Do whatever you're going to do, but you're going to do something if you're up in here. That makes sense? So, brothers and sisters, I'm happy to represent a man that at the time he wrote the bio, he was married to his wife 33 years. At the time he wrote the bio, I think he had maybe 13 grandchildren. I know he got 11 children, but 13 grandchildren. They done went up because he believes in Genesis, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Y'all all right? Came into the nation. He's been an investigator. He's been the first officer. That's when I first encountered him, as the first officer in Mosque Mariam. They asked me as a minister to go downstairs in the Masala doing that. It was Savior's Day or something and raise the money. And like they would raise the money upstairs, but they didn't have nobody downstairs to kind of push the spirit. I'm down there pushing the spirit, saying, all right, brothers and sisters, we doing so. And I heard this voice says, who's down there? It was Brother Abdul. And I whispered, I said, brother, wait a minute, man. They told me to do this. He said, okay, brother. Okay, brother. He and I has traveled together in Africa. We went to Africa in 1994 for the first International Saviors Day. And my brother convinced me. We flew out of New York. So I went to New York. I had all my stuff packed. I had my alligator shoes, I had my suit and everything packed. I was going to be clean over there in Africa. Plus, I had some other casual stuff. My brother talked me out of taking all my suits, all my good clothes out there. He said, man, you don't need that. You're going to Africa. So I left all my stuff in New York at his house. We get over there, and brothers are suited and booted because, like, oh. So I said, Brother Abdullah, man, I don't have a suit. He said, well, I tried on his suit. I fit his suit better than he did. And that's our running joke. We got history together. This is my brother. I want to see him successful in the prison reform ministry. I want to see the minister happy that what he asked him to do, he reached out to his brother, to the believers, and to the community, and he responded, because this is a place that needs prison reform more than any other state in the whole union, as far as I'm concerned, because we got that. So let me present to some and introduce to others our student national prison reform minister.
Assalamu alaikum. Well, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the most merciful of those that show mercy, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his exalted Christ. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Messiah. And I greet you all with the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. Well, just to make sure the count is correct, I've been married 41 years. Right. And At that time, right? It's 19 now. 19 now. Right. And and everything that Dr. Abdul Halim said is needed, but at the prison today, he told the brothers that each of you is a unique miracle, a unique miracle. And one of our problems is we have skills, but we don't have the heart and the commitment. We need people who really mean, surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death is all for Allah. We need people that know this is a cause established by our God and his two representatives, Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan. He established prison reform ministry. When I came home from prison to my first FOI class, after he finished speaking, I went up and shook his hand, and he shook my hand and looked at me and he said, Allah allowed you to go to prison, brother, to study men, because you got work to do with men. And that was my first time, shaking his hand, right? So when I sold fruit on the corners for $1 a bag in Chicago, that's how I was making my living, and I put all of my children except one. So I put 10 through Muhammad University of Islam, selling fruit bags for $1. And I'll tell y'all, since he mentioned it, we didn't have, Minister Farrakhan did not have any property or any place for us to meet. And Reverend Al Sampson, if you watch Savior's Day, you will see him, or if you watch Minister Farrakhan's birth anniversary, Reverend Al Sampson came up. And that was his church that I met the minister after my first FOI class. He gave the minister the key to his church and allowed us to have meetings there. Then other places, they were really, the word coming up in my mind right now is dilapidated. Because we standing there in ranks, and I look up like this and see the clouds going back. The water was so cold in the meeting that it would freeze in the toilets, and any other guest that had to use the toilet had to go across the street to another store that would let us use the restroom. So Minister Farrakhan, whatever you see that he have today, it was a time, and I was there, where he didn't have it. He had a word in his heart and commitment. This is not a lightweight department. This is part of the Muslim program. Yes, sir. Point number 5. And then we got to add 6, because he mentioned the police. You got to add 6 because that's we want to end the police brutality and mob attacks. So the minister really have given us the solution to every problem that we got. Just imagine if we really put together 10,000 fillers. I'm talking about for real. Wouldn't be no crime in the neighborhood. He told us to set up an independent voting party, because I'm mentioning that because he's knowledgeable of politics. He called the Holy Day of Atonement reconciliation and responsibility. And more than 1 million showed up. He asked us to adopt some of our children. After that march, it was like 25,000 of our children adopted. We need to promote all of that work that he have done and led us to do. You ain't got no other leader have an all women's march and rally and counsel them and everything. You ain't got no other leader even got the character to offer 8 steps of atonement. That's repairing the family right there if you carry that out. You know? So I'm sorry, but I'm dead serious about this, man. We got a little or no time left. This man bought 150,000 final calls and asked us to give it away for free. You don't see that as some type of sign that he getting ready to leave us? And we pray every morning, oh Allah, Lord, oh Allah, Lord of this most perfect calling of the prayer to be offered, bestow upon Muhammad the means, the greatness, and high dignity, and exalt him in that most exalted place which thou hast promised him. Today, that Muhammad is Farrakhan. He already been with Elijah Muhammad on the wheel. Now he on the way back. I don't like to find other words. I like to quote the words of the real experience. He told me, we sit near the knee in the airport, he told me that I'm killing every one of my enemies when I return. And I'm not going to forget a one of them. I'm killing every one of their asses. That's the way he told me. Right? So he ain't coming back to play around. He said that when he get to Elijah Muhammad, see, y'all got to forgive me, man. This just coming out. He said when he get to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he going to ask Elijah Muhammad, who killed Brother Wali, the editor of the former editor of the Final Call? And at that time, at that time in Chicago, you had the Supreme Captain, the Assistant Supreme Captain, then the first officer, and that was me, and I was over 21 lieutenants. Me and Brother Mustafa was the first ones to the hospital, and they rolled Brother Wali out on whatever the gurney. the supreme captain, he got emotional. They killed my brother. I know they killed him. They killed my brother. I said, brother Mustafa, we ain't got time to do no crime, man. Come on, let's say this prayer. And I prayed to Allah to deliver whoever killed Brother Wali to me and Brother Mustafa, and that we slay them viciously and everybody know we did it. Ameen. We went to the palace for a dinner. I don't know how much time, went past before this dinner. But one of the brothers had passed away. And if y'all look at some of the old footage, he used to be on his elbows on a gurney because he had got shot 19 or 20 times. And so he had to lay on his stomach on the gurney and on his elbow. You remember? And he had passed away. And so we sitting at the table and the minister asking him questions, and everybody was acting like they was timid or something. I said, Brother Farrakhan, he didn't look that good. Something wasn't right. And then the minister said, now the minister sitting at the head of the table, Mustafa sitting at the head of this table, and I'm sitting to Mustafa's left. And the minister said, I will never believe that Brother Wali just died like that. He said, I would never believe that he just died like that. And when I get to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm going to ask him who killed Brother Wali. So I say, Mustafa, you remember my prayer? Do you think it's an accident we sitting at the table with the only man that can come back and tell us who did it? You remember my prayer? He said, every word, every word. This ain't no joke that we in, man. This is reality. Y'all was listening to him when I came in. He's really the fulfillment of this part of under the name of Jesus. It tells you when you read Surah 53 that he met him on another descent. And they have become like two bowls. And the minister just told us that he, at his birth anniversary, that he'd been invited in as the third of those that's got the power of godhood. Some of us don't really believe the black man is God, even though we up in here cheek to cheek, shaking hands, Allahu Akbar. Some of us don't believe we God, and that's why we can't be one. If we believe it, we would demonstrate. So these brothers that experienced me communicating with these brothers that doing all this time, what I find out is some of our people, if they found out we love them, would stop acting a fool. Love saved my life. I was a dope fiend. I shot too much dope, and it was like pins and needles all over my whole body, and like a tunnel of bees and broken my ears, like that. And as I was going down and maybe going out, the voice in my head said, how do you think your grandmama would feel if you died like this? It snapped me up out of the hat. because I knew one person that loved me. Then I seen Allah showed me myself miniature, and I was dressed in military fighting gear, not in the army though. And our neighborhood was tore up. And when I scanned my mind, I said, I don't see nobody else in my family that would be out here during war times trying to bring back what we need to secure our family. And then I came up out of it. Some of y'all that had experiences, Allah is calling you and already showed you what your character is and what you need to be about. But the main thing, I'm going to shut it down now, is surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death. The prison ministry, even though I'm the one that Minister Farrakhan assigned, the prison ministry ain't just my responsibility. It said on the back page, didn't it say Abdullah's program? Oh, it didn't say that? All right. So that's you, right? So this is our program. So whatever skill, gift, or talent that you have to give, brother, got the names and everything. And I'll tell you the truth, man. I don't like doing a whole lot of thinking and planning programs. Just show me where to preach. What prison you got me in. you know what I mean? So with his help and your help, we can do everything that he was talking about. And the brother, what's his name? Anthony? What's his name? Anthony. With the farm. Mike, you the one with the farm? Okay. Well, like the minister said to me, he said, I want you to come out to the farm and I'm going to give you some garlic and onions to plant. So he gave me the garlic and onions. I never planted nothing in my life. But Allah blessed me. I had a son that used to do construction work, and then he had to assist in planting and rolling out the grass and all of that. And he knew how to plant the garlic and onions. So the minister said, I want you to come out here to the farm and I'm going to give you some garlic and onions to plant. And because I had came down with diabetes type 2. I wasn't eating one meal a day then. And so the garlic and the onions, he said, you eat some of this, brother, ain't no telling what'll come up out of you. So we planted the garlic and onions. And he said, it's good for you to watch life grow up out of the earth the same as we did. And he says, good for them brothers coming home from prison. This is what he said first, the first part. No, it's the second part. He said, it's good for these brothers coming home from prison to watch life grow up out of the earth. So now, not only alongside of buying the property, I want to have urban garden. That's why I wanted to know, was that you? Urban garden, and if we, you don't know how Allah gonna bless you. Just like you came up here and said you got 50 acres or whatever. We didn't know you was coming to say that. It's people that Allah got out here, and all we got to do is make a move. You know what I mean? And make a move. And if you really gonna be a part of this ministry, you got to build coalition with other organizations. You got to go to their meetings. And so that you'll have somebody to call to yours. If you ain't met nobody and they don't know what kind of work you're doing in the community, you ain't got nobody to invite. So that's another aspect. You might not be a minister. You might be a coalition builder. That'll help us get the resources that we need, like Dr. Arlene was talking, that we need a resource manual, a book, where when the brother come home, well, he don't know, he ain't got no driver's license, no ID. Well, he know how to heal over this organization, and they perform that function. Now we on the phone with them, building with them. Can I send it? You know what? Yeah, you can send them over, man. We need more people because this, that, and the other, right? Well, I got 10, just came home right now. And the minister, he asked me, he said, didn't you say something about 28 years? I said, 28 years and 3 months. They just got out of prison. He said, 28 years and 3 months. He said, the sky ain't the same. The people ain't the same. The insect ain't the same. They have all become soldiers in the army of God to help bring about the chastisement. So I'm saying that to say, he on his way back to the plane to meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whom God has turned all power over to. And the clearest picture I could think of is Revelation chapter 5, when the Lamb comes up among the scientists that have to lay down their crown. And then the book was given to the Lamb. And you know lambs don't read books and ain't got hands to receive a book. You know? But it was his character and his heart. And the way we think, he a terrible dude. Oh man, he went up to the throne and took the book. He wasn't no terrible dude. He was a submissive man who submitted entirely to do the will of God and earn the book by carrying out his assignment. It was his. Nobody else did it. And if you read it, it tells you there's no one under the earth. There's no one on the earth. And it wasn't nobody in heaven worthy of the book but the Lamb, who looked like he had been slain. And I wish I could put in people what's in me. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death is all for Allah. And each day I learn how to do it better. So I need people that got technical skills. I ain't got time to post on websites, post on Facebook, check, them other ones, Instagram and all of that. I need help, whatever you call that area, technical, media help. Bro, he ain't gonna have time. So whoever it is that help him and Brother Patrick answer the mail, I need people, and I'm talking what I need in Chicago, but you're gonna need the same thing. We need people we can trust to read the mail and highlight what you need to read in the letter, not the whole 5 pages. And then the reason why I say we need to be able to trust you, because I have had the experience of being undermined by somebody I had answering letters on my behalf, and they was pulling the brothers when they come home to them. Writing brothers, I'm teaching them face to face. He writing brothers, telling them who's with me. And they ain't in the mosque cause of Abdullah. And like I told Brother Stephen today, man, he's sending letters into a class, and this man, one of these brothers then told me, I remember setting the house on fire, but I don't remember stabbing her 41 times. And you writing letters undermining me to people like that, and I'm face to face with them. You ain't even in the prison. But to me, it's no God but Allah. You know what I mean? But I'm saying to you, by experience, if you ain't real about this, you envious and want my position and you'll do something like that, we don't need you nowhere near us. Go on about your business. You know? So we need good character. And by the way, the minister said he don't want no sisters in no male prison. And he don't even want you visiting nobody in prison unless it's your husband, your son, your relative. Other than that, you ain't got no business in there. And just to answer the questions, because I had this in my experience too, Minister Farrakhan put me over the whole nation of Islam in the country and outside the country. So ain't no sense in y'all sisters having a meeting. I wonder, is he over the MGT? Yeah, I'm over the MGT. If you in prison ministry and want to be, I'm trying to think of his exact words. And by the way, that was the Supreme Captain Mustafa called me when I went over to the side. And he sent Brother Mustafa to one of the council meetings, maybe after Savior's Day, or it could be before Savior's Day. But it's been months, not years. Mustafa came to the council meeting, and he said, Abdullah, I talked to my father, and he said, he's the only one that made sense. And as far as he's concerned, you're the only prison minister because you're the only one he chose. And he said, you own the whole thing. So I just wanted to know what through his son. So, right now, I can't really think of nothing else, but yeah. But I don't know if everybody was around when the kids started last night. I strive to love myself and my family and my nation. You know what I mean? Well, y'all been around him, so I know you know what humor is. So I'm getting ready to be Flip Wilson on y'all. Hey, some of them probably don't know Flip Wilson. He was a black comedian. And he said, he came before the congregation. That's when you said finance, I said it. That's what brought up in my mind. He came on this comedy skit and he said, in order for this church to progress, first this church has got to crawl. They say, what you laughing at, Mark? He said, first this church has got to crawl. The congregation say, let it crawl, Reb, let it crawl. He said, in order for this church to make further progress, this church has got to stand up and walk. They say, let it, I forget the last part was supposed to be funny. He said, let it walk, Reb, let it walk. And he said, in order for this church to make more progress, this church has got to have money. The congregation say, let it crawl, Reb, let it crawl. So what y'all didn't have the players card? You couldn't find it, right? Oh. I told you, not like I'm intending, but like I said, as long as you're doing something, Allah got something out there and it's gonna fall in. But if we ain't doing nothing, ain't nothing gonna happen. The universe was material that they say can't be created or destroyed, but it was considered nothing because it was doing nothing. But then there sparkled an atom, and it was the only one. And it said that Allah, creating himself, was the light of himself. So our electrical chemical communications based on truth affect the electrical communication of the other atoms of life sitting in front of us, and all of a sudden that communication reached her and she had what we need. So we can call into existence anything we desire if we're righteous. And for 6,000 years, Allah let even the devil call into existence what he desired. But his time is up now. So I didn't mean to say all of this to take up this time, but it just came out. So I thank you all and look forward to you all helping me to grow and learn in the process of those that's willing to help and bring their skills, talents, and gifts. Because I'm in charge don't mean I know everything. Y'all know, and y'all are different pieces that make up this whole prison reform ministry. So I thank you for listening. As I leave you in peace, assalamu alaikum.
All praises due to Allah. All praise to God. So once again, sisters and brothers, again, this is just really a kind of orientation meeting. I wanted you to hear from him so you could meet and know him, and he could know you in terms of he'll see your face. You see he has a photographic memory of what the minister said to him and said he struggled, but he'll get it. And I love to be around him because he'll tell them stories, and it's really good to have that kind of witness bearer with you because it helps you in the times that you may be wavering and not knowing. And someone come, no, the minister said this, and you can stand firm. So, how many of you believe what you heard today be true? So we don't want to hold up any more of your time. Really, that was the purpose of the meeting, was to come and just make an introduction and say, will you help? Will you help? What he said, are you serious, sane, and sober? You ready to help? Okay, so we'll lay it out. We're gonna call another meeting. We'll call this it's almost like this is during the so-called Juneteenth weekend, where we're supposed to be so-called emancipated, supposed to be free. We were free from their hands, but not their control. Then they put us in convict leasing. Then they passed the 13th Amendment to abolish slavery. What did they do? But accept if you commit a crime and duly convicted of a crime, and then they could put you back into slavery again. Does that make sense? So dear brothers and sisters, look, I'm just trying to be the HR director for the nation. No, for real. Allah has blessed us. And to whom much is given, much is to be required. You can sit around on your rusty dusty if you want to, put your thumb in your mouth, wet your bed, wring your hands, do whatever you're going to do. But we need to go to work. The sense of urgency that he says in the way that he says it, I've been trying to tell you all along. I'm watching the unraveling of a great nation. I'm watching it happen as the minister said it would happen. When it happens, what are we going to do to feed, clothe, shelter, protect, and defend ourselves? There's no guessing. The minister already gave us all that. He gave us the ministries. He gave it. This is like an extension of the ministry of justice. Well, that's the ministry of justice. Do you understand? So, sisters and brothers, whatever it is you think that you can contribute to this, whether it be education, this is our director of Muhammad University of Islam, Sister Dr. Shawana Muhammad. And whatever we can do to help, we're going to be found help. So that really was the purpose of this meeting, sisters and brothers. I hope that you signed up. We will take it to Sister Tara. She's on post, okay. We'll take that, we're going to type it up. So give us permission to send you emails. We need to create a calendar. Is it something that you do? Is there something that you do that on a certain date, you say, this is the day I'm having a fundraiser. I'm selling chicken wings on this day. We're going out to the farm. We're going to have a farm day. Listen what I'm saying. Or like Brother Derek has the Black Male Summits. Is there something that we're doing that represents that seminal day that we can all support? As he said, if you don't go to people's stuff, nobody's going to come to yours. I always talk about Brandon Street. So the vet knows what I'm saying because she was there. We didn't have nothing. We had a building that was smaller than that room in there. Right. Brother Fareed, where is he? Right here in Bear Wood. That's my first convert. We didn't have nothing.
That's right.
But we start going to people's stuff. And first, we were defeated. Then there's Brother Muhammad, Nation of Islam. Get up, I wait. That would be it. I'm sitting the whole meeting, just like we're sitting in there. Then go to a meeting, and then they ask me to do the benediction. Brother Muhammad, we do close us in prayer. Oh, okay. Then it came with Brother Muhammad, will you give us an invocation? Then it was, Brother Muhammad, would you like to say a few words? And I can tell you, we used to have a closet full of plaques and trophies and certificates of appreciation and all that. None of them predate September 11th, 1990, when we brought 12,000 people to the Sam Houston Coliseum and packed the place without a press conference or anything. At that point, they said, whoa, because the minister gave me instructions when he put me on post. He said, brother, don't go after the big shot. He said, go after the little people in the big shot and come looking for you. I closed by telling you this Stell unit was on lockdown. It was going to be on lockdown for 2 weeks. They called Brother Patrick on Tuesday after verifying on Monday that we could come into prison. They called him on Tuesday. He didn't want to call me because it was like bad news bears come to Houston, Texas. He said, but mister, I didn't want to call you, but the chaplain called me and said, they on lockdown, we can't go in. I got my National Prison Reform Minister coming in. What you talking about? So what did I do? Picked up the phone and I called the state senator. And he called the top man called down. Next thing you know, the chaplain, not the chaplain, the warden's calling Brother Patrick. Miss Muhammad, whatever y'all need, I won't be there, but my assistant chaplain is going to be there, and my assistant is going to be there. We're going to take it. We came in there, and the brothers were saying to us it was unusual because the whole institution was on lockdown, but they let them come to hear us. Friendship in all walks of life, not because I know big shots, but because I did what the minister told me to do, to look after the little man, and looking after the little man, the big shots will respond to you. So sisters and brothers, let's go to work. Let's get this done. Yes, sir.
I grabbed one of the baskets, to take your shoes off and put your belongings in. And one of the female guards said, "Oh no, y'all ain't got to do that. We ain't searching y'all. Y'all go straight to the chapel."
It was surreal. And I think a lot of the brother Stephen, our regional captain, got the chance to go in and be with us. He's a very sensitive man. That military stature he has and chiseled face and all that. And he's very sensitive to the suffering of our people. And he needed to see that and experience that. That would give him more fuel to push the final call, more fuel to fish in the dead, more fuel to drill and to teach our people discipline. With all those brothers that were there, most of them were Muslim, but lacked discipline that is necessary to survive the wiles of Satan. So, my dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for coming out. This is the last you begin to email, you begin to call from us. I look forward to you helping us in prevention, rehabilitation, and reform, and re-entry. Is there anything else? We good? Yes, sir, brother. This is Brother John Clear. Come on up to the microphone. John Clear is an original Black Panther, from the original Black Panther.
So I want to say thank you, brother, for coming and sharing your knowledge. And I want to first also say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
And all praise due to Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that we, like you both, we have a long way to go, but we have to do it together, as a people. Me and my brother Abdul Halim Muhammad have known each other for years. And whenever I speak, people are asking me, well, what do you think about the Muslims? What do you think about this? But I know my brothers from the Nation of Islam are not my enemy. We have a common enemy, capitalism and white supremacy. So, brother, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge, and all praise.
Thank you, brother. We're going to bunch you, brother. He's one of the original OGs. And he brought me to tears one time. He called me a comrade. Now, y'all laughing, but they don't throw that word around. When you go ahead.
We were having our attorney, Bobby Caldwell, who represented the TSU-5, Leoza Johnson, represented the Black Panther Party, and he passed, and we had a celebration of life. So I was up and I was talking about it, so I said, and my comrade, Abdul will leave it. So he said, he looked up and said, he called me comrade. And he is my comrade. He'll do anything for me, and I will do anything for him. And I'm in y'all's pocket, and he knows that. And brother, thank you for bringing your message again. All praise due to Allah.
Thank you, Brother John. Thank you. So, brothers and sisters, thank you for coming out. We're going to take our guests to go get something to eat. I guess me too. And I thank you for your time. We look forward to you coming back tomorrow. He gonna really, you think This was sit down, but he gonna open up tomorrow, because by the time Shirley Man is in loss, we will hear from him tomorrow. So come on out tomorrow, 10 o'clock, with your guests. Bring 2 friends with you. Hear what he has to say, because he keeps it real. I mean, the things he said in prison to them brothers and the way they responded was, you talk about the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to see them, that light come on in their faces. And he was saying some hard truths and they were laughing because of the way he put it, the way Allah has made him. So sisters and brothers, I look forward to him being tomorrow. I look forward to you coming out tomorrow. Get a good night's rest, and inshallah, Brother Jerry, we'll see you, man. Come on out, be with us tomorrow. Anyone, you'll come and visit us and be with us tomorrow. And I do want to give it to you, Mike. You've been on my mind. In fact, I have your text message pinned so that I don't lose it, because you've been on my mind since we met at the Black Male Summit to do this. So prayer at this time. Brother Smokey, once again, want to thank you for coming out, man, and being here representing peace officers. You're always welcome here with us, brother, for what you have done and continue to do for our community. And if we ever have a problem, we definitely will sit and talk with you. So if there's nothing else, brothers and sisters, at this time. Yes, sir. Who, Jerry? Man, come on, man. Jerry Parker. I know. I know. Okay. Thank you, Brother Jerry. We're going to face this way, which is the east. Let's stand for prayer and we'll close out. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of their judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, Thee alone do we beseech for help. O Lord, guide us on the right path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed Thy favors, not the path of those upon whom Thy wrath brought down, nor those who go astray. Amen. So look, this is what I want you to do. Let's do this as quickly as possible. Let's all stand here and somebody take a picture with Brother Abdullah of all of us being here together. Let's step up on the stage. Let's do this right quick. Me and you will step up on the stage.